It's time for the Stoops Preview with Teddy Lehman, Tyler McComas, and Hall of Fame head coach Bob Stoops. The Stoops Preview is brought to you every week by Stride Bank. With local roots and national reach, Stride Bank is your go-to partner for all your banking needs. Stride Bank, your trusted financial partner since 1913. And now, with the Stoops Preview, here's Teddy Lehman, Tyler McComas, and Bob Stoops.
Stoops Preview brought to you by Stride Bank. Coach Stoops joins us for the next couple of segments, talk a little OU football, OU Ole Miss, and preview the upcoming college football weekend. And, Coach, before we get to all the football, just wanted to tell you, man, that got a lot of people thinking about you. Sorry for your loss this week, and just thoughts and prayers to you and your family out there. But you got a lot of OU fans around here and everyone else here at the Revs thinking about you this week, man.
Yeah, we appreciate all the prayers we can get. My mother was an incredible woman and an incredible sports wife and mother. I mean, you have no idea. My dad played ball to the year he passed, and at 54, he was still playing fast pitch softball. And when I grew up, we would paint houses all like in the summer. And we outside painting houses, whatever, all day. We'd get home, and my dad would run downstairs. We had an unfinished basement. Get into that one of those stationary, not get in, but on the outside, rub the paint off his face and his arms, whatever. And he would put his baseball uniform on and go play Double-A baseball in Youngstown, all over the city. Sometimes right down the street from us. And my mother would hand him a sandwich and get him a water to go out the door, and that's how she was. She had 6 kids. So, and she was amazing. She had 5 of us
breaking
inside.
Up fights with you guys, right? I mean,
you have no idea. The 4 brothers, we were all in one room and 3 beds, and it was a circus. And I don't mean big beds. And so she was incredible, and and then came to so many of our games, playing at Iowa as well as all these bowl games around the years, and it's a blessing. She's really struggling here towards the end, so she's up there with my dad now, and that's okay.
Teddy, I saw a photo yesterday. I'd never seen it before. It's Bob, it's Carol, and it's Bob's mom standing on the field at Notre Dame Stadium after that win back in, what was that, 2013?
Yeah.
And Mike put out the statement.
13.
Yeah, Mike put out the statement yesterday. How about she was a Catholic woman, and like how many people get to experience that in their lives? Like get to stand on the field while your son just won a game at Notre Dame. That's incredible.
Well,
man.
I'm just hoping she was rooting for me and not the Irish Catholics.
Yeah.
So, well, you know what? How good our people were here to my mom, though, through the years. You know, get older, walking, whatever. Greg Tipton and the Joe Castiglione, the OU people here, administration, found out where she's parking, where she's coming in at, and they drive a golf cart out to get her, to bring her into the game. And, you know, so she didn't have to wait in line or travel, you know, how far you got to walk when you park. So the people here, she loved everybody around here. They were so good to her. And she always loved coming to games, and everybody took care of her.
Well, that's awesome. Well,
yeah,
it's been a wild week around here. Obviously, we had the football game against South Carolina, turned it over. 3 times in the first 9 or so plays of the game, go on to lose that one handily, and then. Coach Venables makes a move at offensive coordinator. Were you surprised by that? And where does the offense go from here under the command of Joe John Finley?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not at practices, but we all love Seth Luttrell, as you know. He's an OU guy, Dad an OU guy. Everybody around him's OU people, so. He's dealt a bad hand. Everyone knows that, and just tough. So, but sometimes, I'm sure Brent's decision is just I gotta change something. I can't just keep doing the same things, and we get that. Not anything in this game is one guy's fault, that's for sure, because it's the ultimate team sport between so many coaches, so many players on the field, so many players on the team. Everybody's responsible. But you got to try and shake things up. So hopefully, it could be maybe a different rhythm play calling, or he can, get to the things that Jackson Arnold or Michael, whoever's playing, is comfortable with. As you said it earlier, though, you cannot turn the ball over and win. Mm-hmm. I don't care where you're at. Well, Coach Switzer was the only one that could fumble 7 times and still win. But those days, I believe, are gone. And the bottom line, you have to play clean football, not beat yourself. Turnovers are beating yourself. Penalties, I don't care when they come, non-playing penalties, when, you know what I mean, Teddy, before and after the snap. Those, you can't have them. And you can't and you got to play clean football. And then, both sides of the ball, if we could pick up offensively, we got to come up with a big play or two and pick up some third downs. And, and then defensively, the opposite. Hold, no big plays, be great on third down. But, when you turn the ball over, you take all of that out of the equation and you give them the game, and that's what you can't do. And, Michael, until this Hawkins, in his last game, hadn't done that. Mm-hmm. And that's why we've been able to hang around, and then he does. So, Jackson did it earlier in the year. That is, it sounds like a coach's cliche. People get tired of hearing about a turnover margin. Listen, you cannot turn the ball over, and especially for touchdowns or putting people in touchdown territory.
Modelo is the official beer of the Stoops Preview. And you mentioned the shakeup that's happened. I think that's an extremely interesting element going into Saturday, because I don't think OU is going to run an entirely new system, but what players do they highlight? What do they do in the run game? We really don't know what Joe John calling plays. So with that being said, Coach, is that any sort of an advantage for OU, just kind of like the unknown? With the other side, and Ole Miss doesn't know exactly maybe what they expect to see on offense?
Well, I think a little bit. It won't be a ton, but, Joe John, like you said, can highlight different players, can highlight different run schemes, or highlight whatever. Even getting a different rhythm calling plays. It can, who knows? Maybe, he knows what Jackson Arnold really feels comfortable with and gets in a good rhythm, getting it going with them. And listen, I get it. Ole Miss is, but they've lost some games that, they haven't been invincible. So, but we gotta do our part and be our best version of ourselves. And I don't know that we've done that all year.
No, I totally agree with that. And, frankly, we've been waiting. Last year, even though the record was way better, we didn't get a whole lot of times last year where the offense and the defense were synced up together and playing good complementary football. Now, Ole Miss, like you mentioned, they've got a couple of losses. Breezed their way through the non-con, put up a ton of points and yards. But once they got into conference play, their offense, shockingly, the defense has really been the strength of the football team. It feels like once they got into the SEC. So what all have you seen from Ole Miss?
Well, I think that's it. I don't put a lot of stock in any out-of-conference games. You can inflate your stats all you want by going fast, hurrying up, getting big plays. But when you get to comparable competition, to me, that's what truly matters. And they've, I know Kentucky really defensively held them down and played a great game against them. So, that's what we've got to do, and we got to do our part on offense. Kentucky in that game to beat them didn't have a huge offensive game. But, if you can keep them down and stay in it, force their hand to have to keep making plays, you've got a good chance.
Be sure to download the Bob Stoops app. Go to the App Store, just search Bob Stoops. Looks like Coach has a video that got up about 2 hours ago. Were you previewing the upcoming college football weekend down there on the field this week? That looks cool.
Yeah. No, that, and I Oh, I thought I downloaded also an interview with Porter Moser. I'm not the best at loading it all up, but I have people that help me. Yeah, I was just down on the field doing that. But I do it every week, as well as some interviews. I interviewed Ryan Hibble a week ago. You know, they're number one in the country, and wanted to give them some publicity. And I'll get my Porter Moser one out there eventually. But you know, love what he's doing. Love that guy. So anyway, no, it's the app has been great and working well.
Did the 0.1K run all go according to plan on Sunday? Maddie make it?
It was a success. We oddly had extra donuts left after. Yeah, Matt McMillan made it. Of course, we had a great turnout, more than last year, and we need to keep building it. The band sold out. SOULED sold out, was fantastic. So we had a really good time raising money for the Assistance League of Norman, where all the money will go to.
Now, I thought I heard you maybe on Toby said when you were at Florida, you never played at Ole Miss on the road?
No, no, or at home. We never played Ole Miss. We had gone to Mississippi State, but not Ole Miss.
Yeah,
so, that's
supposed to be a great environment. And I don't know, sometimes, Coach, and we've talked about this before, when things maybe aren't going well, it can be good to maybe get out on the road. The team is a little tighter. You travel together. You huddle up in the hotel together. I mean, it can actually do you some good.
I don't disagree with that at all. I get home field advantage. I get it. But sometimes, depending on how the year is going, being on the road together, no one around you, less distractions, it can be unifying and give you a little boost.
My on this day that I'm going to throw at you, it's 25 years plus one day. There's nothing today that I found, but 25 years plus one day is that 99 win over Texas A&M that you've cited the importance of that game many times. Yeah. 51-6 over an A&M team that, the year before, I think won the Big 12.
That's exactly right, Tyler. They had won the Big 12 the year before. They had been beating the dog out of Oklahoma ahead of us getting there, big scores. And we had earlier in the year had some leads, 17 and 16 against Texas and Notre Dame, and our guys are, giggling around the sideline, acting like this is going to be easy, and it's only the first half. And I finally put the gauntlet down. I remember in the meeting that, look, we're done with this. We're going to play a complete game. We're going to finish the game. We're going to be aggressive. And it's our homecoming, and we're going to play a complete game. Sure enough, we leave the hotel and one of our buses breaks down.
Oh no!
So we got to pile one of, I forget, O or D on. We got to all come in on one bus. Teddy, guys are sitting on laps. I told the guys, I said, listen, if whoever plays the most, let them sit down. If you don't play so much, you stand up. And but I said we were going to be aggressive, and sure enough, I don't know. I think it was the first quarter. I ran the fake punt with Seth Luttrell, who went about 40, 50 yards, and we ended up scoring on that drive. I ran a fake field goal. Oddly, everyone ran the fake field goal perfectly, but you know how the kickers are over there warming up? We forgot to tell the kicker we were running the fake, and the pass down the middle of the field was supposed to be to him. So,
oh, my gosh.
So Patrick Fletcher bails me out. P. Fletch. Yeah. He's a scrappy, tough guy. He pulls the ball down, and he scrambles somehow for like 8-10 yards and gets the first down by like half a football. And then we score a couple plays later. But we were, like I said, we were going to play aggressive. We were going to finish the game, and, we go on to a huge, big-time victory and wear them out. And to me, that's when everything changed for us, in my opinion, when we
I don't think Texas just dropped a game to Georgia, game of the week. They were number one in the country. It lasted 1 week for them, and then they took the loss to Georgia. But now they're going on the road to Vanderbilt, Coach, and I don't know. Maybe you can shine some light on this. Texas had obviously OU Texas game, big rivalry game. Then they're number one in the country, and the next week they're hosting Georgia. I mean, they have to have spent a lot of emotional capital over the last couple of weeks. And, previously you had the Vanderbilt game, and not that you ever take a game lightly, but this is a different Vanderbilt team than I imagine they thought that they were going to have. So kind of a tight spot coming off the last couple of weeks that they've had.
I agree. And I'm, the bank they've been a little bit depleted with these big games, and but also I don't know, since I'm allowed to do it, I used to coach at OU. I'm allowed to pick Vanderbilt. I think they may get the upset. They got something. They have something to prove. With playing Texas, and Texas has had a lot the last few weeks. Not that our game was that taxing on them, but that it's still OU Texas, and then they just lost. So I'm going to go with Vanderbilt to pull an upset. Unless
Texas throws beers on the field and gets a call overturned again like they did last week. Did you see anything like that?
Tyler, did you see that Vanderbilt put up nets in front of the visitors?
I don't. Is that real? Is that real?
Oh,
though?
Is that fake? Oh, okay, yeah.
Because they said that. They're going to do it for Tennessee too, because Tennessee threw mustard and golf balls on the field a couple of years ago.
That's funny. They got me with that one. That's funny.
Yeah, I still have never seen a call changed like that before. It was.
That was
pretty crazy.
That's crazy. I can't believe it either.
Well, Coach, we have a traditional Big Ten matchup. When you think of Big Ten football, obviously people think about Illinois traveling to Oregon. That's what people think in that conference. I like Brett Bielema. He had a lot of success at Wisconsin. What was that, probably a decade or so ago? He's got Illinois in a pretty good spot here. I'm going to guess you're going to go with Oregon, but do you think Illinois can keep it close out there in Eugene against the number one team?
I think they'll keep it close. Oregon probably set up for a little bit of a letdown, and Illinois doesn't have that marquee name, but they are playing really well. So, I think it'll be tighter than what they're saying.
I agree with that. Illinois does a really good job on defense. They typically hold people pretty low. I know they gave up a bunch of points a couple of weeks ago to Purdue, but they're typically really hard to score on. Maybe keep that one close. This one I think is interesting. Missouri, still a top 25 team. They're going on the road to Alabama, and Alabama's lost a couple of games, and it feels like there's meltdown mode going out there. I don't know if that's fan base driven or media driven. I don't know what it's like in the facility there, but it does feel like Alabama is the most vulnerable they've been in a while, and they've got a top 25 team coming to town. How do you think this one goes?
I think they get it corrected. They got good coaches there. Those games they've lost have been tight. Missouri's shown some holes or hasn't been great. Being that it's at Alabama, I'd take Alabama.
I like this game a lot, too. I'm really interested in this top 25 matchup. MetLife Stadium, 6-1 Notre Dame is going to take on 6-0 Navy. And I know a lot of people are rooting for Army and Navy across the country. Coach, Notre Dame's a 2-touchdown favorite in this one, 14-point favorite. Any chance Navy can pull the upset there at MetLife Stadium?
I don't think they'll upset them, but I think it'll be closer than that. They're going to grind up the clock. That poor D coordinator at Notre Dame will be pulling his hair out, and I just think Notre Dame will win. But I think because of the way they play, that it'll be tighter than that.
Yeah, Notre Dame has, I don't know, maybe some people call it the privilege or not. I don't know, but They play Navy every year, so they're, I guess, maybe in a better position to defend the option maybe than most other people are that don't play some of those teams. But I'll tell you, I'm sure pulling for both Army and Navy this year. That's one of the fun stories going on out there right now. But I'm with you.
Definitely.
Probably going to be just a little bit closer. Well, any last advice for Oklahoma going on the road to play Ole Miss? Obviously dealing with all kinds of the trouble themselves, new offensive coordinator. I mean, it's not an easy situation. So what would you do if you were in charge of the team right now?
Well, all week you've got to be upbeat, positive, embrace the changes we've made, and like I said, it's not that hard to play smart, to play clean football, to know the snap count, know the rules, don't have foolish penalties before and after plays, take care of the football. And let's give ourselves a chance in the fourth quarter to make a few plays to make the difference in the game. And and that's it. I mean, we've been in these stadiums aren't anything we hadn't been in. This game, people act like, oh, this is new for us. Oklahoma's gone around the country forever playing in these kind of games. So let's go play our best and win.
Well, as long as we're on the subject of asking Coach for advice for Saturday, what advice would you give someone who's probably going to end up tailgating with Pacifico Alan Carter at some point before kickoff? What would you tell that individual?
Oh, man, I'd stay away from – pace yourself and don't let them talk you into anything.
I'll write that down. I'll make sure to have that down.
Yeah. Good stuff, Coach. We appreciate you again. We know it's a tough time right now, but you got a ton of people behind you, and we look forward to talking to you again next week.
All right. I appreciate it, guys. Boomer Sooner to everybody.